Morning everyone, I'm here early as usual. I'm not supposed to start work until 10, but this morning I'm starting at about 5:30. So anyways, this morning I'm going to be working on an iPhone 6s Plus that got sent here for a half backlight issue. That's typically where half of the screen is dark, or sometimes it seems like it's just a corner, but it's usually more like half the screen. So I'm going to switch you over to the microscope so you can see what I'm seeing. Right away what I noticed with my eyes is that all of the sticky is missing. The 6S and the 6S Plus. The 6S and the 6S Plus, it has, it's got the sticky pad that goes around all this stuff. It's got rubbery overfill all over the top of all this stuff. Am I still recording? The power at our at the shop just flashed, and it looks like I've lost some stuff. All right, so the power here flashed, and I just spent like the better part of 5 minutes troubleshooting a blank microscope image on the screen. It's like, man, it keeps coming up black. Why is it coming up black? And I'm troubleshooting USB shit and trying to figure out why, if everything here's on battery backup, why is my microscope image black? And anyways, the light wasn't on. So back at this 6S Plus. Let's plug in a screen to this dude and see what happens. Looks like we got some muck down in the camera connector. I'm going to leave that unplugged for now. There's also no power button. Why did they leave the power flex unplugged? Assuming that's the power flex, I might be wrong. Never did one of those on a 6S Plus. Alright, screen's all plugged in. Yeah, this dude has had some obvious backlight rework, and yeah, so that's what we get. Half backlight down the left hand side. And okay, so let's let this phone boot up, and I'm going to have a look over here at the schematic of what we're up against here. So here's the 6S Plus board. Here is the components that we can see rework on. I don't remember which one of these three it was. I'm going to go ahead and slide the power off on this phone. Yeah, I don't like seeing all that previous rework, because it's like there could be any number of things wrong with this. Somebody has went through and picked all the rubbery coating off of these components. They didn't do a very good job of it. There's still a lot of it left, and for what? A backlight issue? Why would they pick it all off of everywhere over a backlight issue? A lot of times when this previous repair stuff comes in, you wind up fixing the main problem only to figure out why they had the screws out of it to begin with. So like a lot of long screw, like if an iPhone 6 Plus comes in here for long screw repair, it's automatically getting quoted for touch IC repair and long screw repair, because after I get done fixing the long screw damage, I'm going to find out it was long screw damage because somebody was trying to fix touch disease. So that's the feeling that I'm getting from this 6S Plus. Now, I'm normally a pretty happy, jolly person, but these last few days with some of the stuff that I've gotten into with previous repair attempts is just like, oh no, no, no. Okay, so here's those three components. These are three filters. One of them is an anode, and the other one of them is one of the anode lines. Since this is a Plus, it's going to have two anodes. So we got two cathodes and an anode on that side. And let's go ahead, and this thing is shut down now. Remove the screen. It's weird seeing all of that overfill picked off of this thing. I'm going to go ahead and put a sticker on this phone, since it is in fact going to be worked on now. getting ready to update our software, so when we do this mail-in check-in procedure, we get our main tag and a series of stickers that automatically print. That's going to have to happen. So I'm going to set this phone back here by me. I'm going to switch you over to the microscope. Just water damaged phone. No, the water damage indicator isn't tripped, but that's not really trustworthy. When we get right down in beside here, I see a lot of poking. Okay, so rather than just go nuts on this thing and pick everything off the board and start taking swings at it with a baseball bat, let's actually try to narrow down what we have and what we don't have here. The first thing I'm going to do here, switch over to screen capture. There we go, microscope. You see we've got, here's our obvious rework. This is where this has been touched up before. These are going to pertain to backlight. So here's screen capture. We've got the bottom one of those three. So we've got these three filters here, and the bottom one has had the most work on it. You know, this is one of our backlight anodes. We have two cathodes and an anode. It is okay that they've got the solder bridge between here and here, as well as here and here. However, this filter here, there is a nub that comes up inside the board, and right here is where that anode actually comes out. And then it hits this capacitor here to ground on this side, capacitor here to ground on this side, and then on this side of the filter it's out to this cap and to the pin on the connector. So I'm going to go ahead and switch you back over to the microscope and plug in my battery. I opened this one thinking it was going to be a routine backlight repair. I didn't realize it was a previous repair attempt. I think they may have said they had this in another shop before sending it here, so okay, we got battery plugged in. I'm going to hit the power button and start poking around here on this. I'm going to check this filter right here. I'm getting 0 volts. Nothing on the cathodes, which I probably shouldn't there. Okay, so we get nothing at this anode. Where is our other backlight anode? Is it along? Okay, so we got cathode, cathode, anode. Third pin on the right-hand column here is also going to be backlight anode. We got to have power somewhere because this thing's got some damn backlight. I just don't have all of it. So there we go. We got 4 volts on this backlight anode, and about the same sort of reading on those cathodes, which is 0.00 whatever. With all the other repair attempts, I'm not going to be hitting this board with hot air. See, when something looks like this and it's had all this previous rework done to it and I don't know the history of it, it makes me I really thank everybody for all the positive messages and the keeping me on my toes with this and letting me know that I'm actually helping you, because it does keep me recording these videos. So thank you a lot for that. So anyways, I'm not going to put a whole lot of faith in the rest of this board. I'm worried that if I get in here and I start messing around with hot air, I could cause other stuff to happen. You know, this thing has been messed with all over the place, and I don't know why. I mean, look, all these display chokes. Dude, you had an image on the screen. Why are you probing the total holy shit out of those display chokes? The pads around them are kind of smushed. Now, that's not a problem as far as functionality goes, but this shows that whoever worked on this didn't know a whole lot about what was going on. I see something else that was knocked off the board over here. That's part of the digitizer connector, man. What is that? We've got this dude here missing. That is a capacitor. Something LCM drive to Mamba connector. Let's Yeah, I can't count how many times I've watched you guys knock your voltmeter off the desk. That thing's tough. I've had that since I got that as a Christmas present when I was 14 years old, man. And now I'm fixing 6S Pluses with it. Alright, so let's see what this line is before I... See, here I go. This is what happens with previous repair attempts. I'm getting sucked in. Sent in for no backlight. Now I'm researching... I have no clue what that is. Mamba to LCM drive. Let's get rid of the con off of it and see where this goes. Nowhere. Well, somebody out there is more than likely going to tell me what Mamba is. Okay, so I'm noticing trying to decide if the board's been out of the case or not. There's our missing there's our missing component. Look here. I just found it. Down inside that screw hole. Alright, we're going to switch over to the micro pencil. Yeah, I'm going to continue doing previous repair attempts, but guys, I'm going to have to set some guidelines. I mean, come on. This one's, so far this one hasn't burnt me yet, but it will. If I don't watch it, it will. So, what I'm going to do is take this missing capacitor. This phone will never notice this cap missing. I'm going to set it up here. Oh God. On this piece of Captain tape. There we go. If I didn't know it was there, I would never see it. So, okay. First item of business here. We're going to attempt to fix the backlight. Now, because of all the previous repair attempts, the stress and the burning and the way what I've seen a lot under this is that the through hole on the bottom gets burnt completely away, and then your only option from there, see if you're trying to grab a hold of backlight, so we could, if we wanted to, we could grab backlight anode over here at this one, but I'm reasonably confident that it's not present. So I'm going to move on to fixing this phone. I'm not going to use any hot air on this board because I'm really afraid of what else has been done to it and what all I can break loose. I mean, if it hasn't been touched before, there's a lot more that I'll do on a repair, but whenever they look like this, it's like, it's really tedious. You have to be really careful, or you can easily take something that came in for half backlight and spend the rest of the day figuring out why it won't power on because you knocked something loose with hot air. You didn't really knock it loose with hot air, but the stuff in between these components and other things that, you know, what all did they do? They were just like everywhere trying to get backlight working. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do in this case. We know we have backlight anode over here on pin 3. This one's functioning. We have working anode here. But backlight anode on this pin, now keep in mind this is TP22 right here. So backlight anode on this pin is the one that's missing. And it is on test point 25. So as long as the little through hole via here is not torn, the little nub coming up inside the board, I'm pretty sure you call it a via, then we should get continuity between here and test point 25. Let's give that a shot. So we're going to go from the component they were fucking with. Okay, so I get all this in view. Okay, let's set my multimeter to ohms. We're going to check for continuity, and I have set it to beep. Battery's disconnected, so we're going after test point 25 here, and then we're going after this filter here. We have continuity here. Okay, so that means the track inside the board that's just under this pad and this test point are good. And so I'm going to use this test point right here, test point 25. I'm going to use that as a spot to put in backlight power. Where am I going to get that power? Who says cheaters never win? We're going to grab test point 22, PPLCM backlight anode. We're going to grab that other backlight line. Now, there's a good chance this one needs an IC, diode, filter, whatever. And thank you, Apple, for making the 6S Plus highly serviceable. But this one here I'm going to cheat on because I need this phone to work, and I need to do it without causing a bunch of other problems. Alright, so I'm going to grab my jumper wire. I usually tin this with my bare eyes now, but since I'm doing a YouTube video, I'm going to show everybody how I tin it. Let me grab a backdrop. You know, iPhone 5 backplate. Beautiful backdrop. Alright. So, I'm going to grab some flux and flux it. I'm going to put a blob of solder on my iron. I get a lot of questions about what kind of iron it is and stuff, and it's cool to see how things react at this level. So, oh, this is terrible. It's because I'm doing a video. Okay, I normally drag it across there one time when I got my wire tinned. It's because I'm doing a video. Anyways, so I've tinned the wire. Sorry I didn't do a good job keeping it in view. There's our wire. It's fairly clean and tinned. Throw our shield aside, and we're going to grab this botched repair. Now, this camera connector is kind of getting in my way. I'm going to tape it back a little bit. I will probably get drug out in the street and stoned to death when everybody sees the way I fix this backlight. Now, dude, there has been a lot of these that I have replaced for like, I have fixed for a really low fee. When I open it up and I see that, you know, we've got a filter blown and I can replace the filter and move on, we're in good shape. But whenever I open them up and it's a previous repair attempt, it can be an absolute nightmare. So I wish I could tell everybody $50 for a backlight repair, but for crying out loud, some of the stuff that I get into. So anyways, we got test point 22 here. This one is going to have VCC main present. Well, in the long haul, VCC main, it's our backlight anode on that side. This is our other backlight anode that is smoked. And rather than spend a ton of time troubleshooting this and wasting a bunch of time and causing me more headaches and other things that don't work due to previous repairs, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Okay. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of flux to this to make it look good. Oh shit. Sorry guys, I'm not doing this on Microscope. You can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've laid this wire across those two test points just the way I showed you I was going to on the schematics. And just going to bump this with the iron now and tweezers and just make it look good. You know, like an aftermarket rig job. Needs to look perfect. Alright. So another tool that I've added to my arsenal here that I've been loving are these disposable surgical scalpels. They're like, oh man, these blades are hard. Like this one here is one of the first ones I've had. Oh, this piece of wire is going to fly into outer space, and I don't plan on removing the board out of this phone, so we're going to bend this one around. Yeah, it sucks to lose a piece of wire on a logic board, man, especially when the wires are this small. Okay. Okay, I am reasonably confident in this repair, so I'm going to grab me some alcohol and a Q-tip. Pointy Q-tips that everybody keeps asking me where I buy them at, like there's something special. I buy these pointed Q-tips at the Dollar General store in the cosmetics section. They are for women to put on makeup. Or men, you know, it doesn't matter these days. So anyway, these are cosmetics. They're very cheap. They're $1 a bag. The amount of fibers is very limited because who wants Q-tip fibers in their eyeliner? That once more. I spend way too much time nitpicking. Like some of the stuff that I've seen people do and leave flux on their boards, reputable businesses button this stuff up with a river of flux. I realize what I'm doing here is very clean. So I've pretty much ignored all the other rework on this board. I've looked at what they've done and decided, hey, they were kind of an idiot. Now I'm going to double check my work here. Make sure I haven't hooked anode to cathode. So alright, we got backlight anode here, backlight anode here. I've basically restored voltage to the side of the backlight that no longer has voltage. Let's test it. Alright, here's what I'm seeing. I'm going to remove my tape from the camera flex carefully. And just for giggles and shits, I am going to go ahead and put a tiny bit of Kapton over my work. Although I think there's little to no chance of this getting shorted up against the camera flex. Somebody got away with my pair of scissors. I'm going to have to use these. For somebody, I mean my 7-year-old, my 8-year-old, man, he likes to steal my tools. piece of Kapton over my jumper. I'm going to go ahead and put the little black strip back over the top of that. I didn't notice that was there. I would have just used that. That'll make this repair remain a mystery until they watch my video and they're like, that motherfucker charged me $100. But man, the level of bullshit that I've been putting up with these previous repairs is just, man, it is off the charts. I've had to learn the hard way in many different cases what to watch out for with these people that are like, what do you charge to fix this? And you give them a price. And you give them a price based upon real world experiences and odds and overhead costs and all these other things. And then phones that have unknown previous repair attempts will just, man, they will throw a wrench in your plans. Alright, well I just hooked up the battery and we didn't get no smoke. So I think I'm on the right track. What do we have here? We have a phone showing full backlight. Now this is putting the load of the backlight. Well, let's just see what I've done. I let that phone boot. Switch over to the schematic. Oh, whoa. Look at this, the 6S Plus actually has both backlight drivers in the schematic. The 6 Plus, it don't. You have to like assume what the rest of the connections are. It don't have both backlight drivers in it, unless I'm just an idiot and I've been overlooking it. So we have these two backlight drivers. Basically what I have done here is tied the outputs on these two backlight drivers together, and we're letting one of them support the load. Now this is a workaround that I've done on the 6 Plus before. I have never had an issue doing this. I try not to do them this way unless I feel like there's some other factor at play that makes me decide to do this. Because there's other ways to fix this where I could keep both of these circuits alive. But in this particular case, we're going to bridge those two lines together and push this phone out the door. This customer is going to be happy. I am going to go ahead and put that one capacitor back in place. But I'm going to do it very carefully. I'm going to use my micro pencil and put that capacitor back in place. It may not look really pretty, but I will know I didn't float everything on this board with hot air when it looks like it does on this one. So there we have it. I've tied, by hooking those test points together, I've taken PPLCM backlight A node and PPLCM backlight 34A node. I've taken them out here at these two test points. And you see the line that test point is on down here. And I've taken our VCC main, I call it VCC main, but I've taken our backlight output voltage from here, and I have bridged it to here so that we have A node on both sides. As far as I know, all of our cathodes are happy. So anyway, this is I'm going to call this a successful repair. I'm not going to put that capacitor back on the board on camera because I'm worried I'll screw something up, and it's really not part of this video. This is intended to be a no backlight repair. A no backlight repair that could easily, and here we are dim, I'm going to hold it up to the light, turn the screen on. A no backlight repair that could easily turn into something much worse. So anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all have successful repairs. I hope you learned something from this. This is a pretty good way to rig the backlight on this phone. These people will most likely never know the difference in having both circuits alive or half the circuit alive. It's not going to make a difference on brightness that I can tell. I've held the two side by side. I have a 6S Plus here, 6S Plus here. I have fixed quite a few 6S Plus backlight issues. This is only the second one that I've ever fixed this way. But I try to fix them the right way, but I also have to weigh my odds of what's the right way and what's the practical way, because they want this fixed. If I hot air this and I do something and I don't know what happened, this phone's not going to leave here today. It might have to be here another couple of weeks, or it might be here a month because You know, that's how troubleshooting works. So anyways, that's it for this video. Hope you all have successful repairs, and I do thank you for watching. Have a good day, everybody.